and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs.
When you guys sleep with your partners, is that
Wait, hold on a
hangout
second.
time?
Cool. Continue.
Are we recording this?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Is that hangout time?
This is the cold open. This is the one time I'm just adamantly, I'm so confident.
I'm gonna cut out you saying that, but I agree with you. What were you saying?
I was saying,
Marty, thank you for keeping the flow of this conversation
You guys are-
right on track.
Scott, you're welcome. Kelly, that's interesting. What were you saying about
you
that?
don't even know. What did I ask?
So
You guys
natural.
don't listen. Marty listens barely.
I do too.
What did I ask then earlier?
You were asking how is it like when you sleep with your partners?
No, that's not what I said.
You're asking, Kelly, you were like, describe it in detail.
No,
You said how is it when you have
And you're
sex?
wearing these really baggy sweatpants that
Yeah.
is your hand down the front? I can't tell.
And then Scott said, "Hang on, cool."
yeah. I said, is that hangout time? Are you hanging out with your partner when you're sleeping next to them?
Yeah, that's part of the reason I never get any sleep is because we get into bed like when I think is an appropriate bedtime, and then we talk for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
See? Hangout time.
Did you try to tell Sam that because she's like, "Kelly,
No.
never hang out with me," and you're like, "I hang out with you for 8 hours every
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
clock
like,
in.
for like a good chunk of our relationship, I did think that. I was like, I mean, yeah, it wasn't good times.
Yeah.
But I've since it's fine. We're fine now. I don't it's like half hangout time. It's 50% hangs. Mm-hmm. Sorta. Not the full 8 hours.
Keep all of that in there.
Sometimes when you get into bed, you want to go to sleep, and sometimes when you get into bed, you hang out.
Ooh, we recently, so we have a guest room in our house because we have an old bed in there.
Oh, nice. So now you guys can fight as much as you want.
Exactly.
And then you don't have to sleep on the couch. You can sleep in the guest room.
I'm sleeping downstairs in the guest room.
Yeah.
But we put like 30 pillows in there, I think, and we just bought a TV to put in there as well. So we have a little hangout room.
When you're
Wow.
sleeping, how many pillows do you have?
4.
two each.
I have 4 for
I'm the only
myself.
person who's like, it's single pillow. That's the only way.
Kristen does.
You're a My Pillow person.
Is that a Grey's Anatomy?
No, it's the My Pillow. Marty, you need to get one.
Oh,
of
I thought you were
these.
talking about pillow person.
Or my person?
No, that's
my person.
my
Yeah,
person.
that's right.
That's what I always refer to my significant other as.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my person.
Well, I have to. She loves
She's
Grays.
My person. Dude.
Sam loves Grays. We should we should make a Grey's Anatomy podcast.
Yeah. Grays. Yeah. My favorite aliens.
Great's Anatomy.
Welcome to Spoofs. Goofs and novelty songs.
A podcast about dumb shit.
That's you guys switched?
I know, it's a
Yeah,
little...
I'm Marty. Hey, my dick. My dick?
And I'm Scott. I can't believe you would say that, Marty.
Yeah, I'm a Neanderthal. This is a podcast where we talk about spoof movies, novelty products. Put an asterisk on that one. And novelty songs as well.
And I'm Kelly. You guys really just skipped right over me.
What do you mean? Well, I never said we didn't introduce ourselves.
You introduced yourself as Marty, and he introduced himself as Scott, and I didn't have
Oh,
anyone.
well, that's not the truth.
It's like we fucked up a Secret Santa scenario.
And that, by
you
the
guys
way,
picked each
the
other's
gift of
names,
the
and I picked
Magi.
my own.
Marty, I sold my Scott to buy you this Marty.
That, by the way, describes the podcast perfectly. Scott and I talk, and Kelly tries to talk.
Yeah.
Tries to get a word in edgewise.
Oh, I've been spoofed on.
No. I've been spoofed on. Yeah, this is a...
And in today's episode, the genre of mystery has been spoofed on.
Oh, boy, has it. So 2 thoughts. 1 thought. This is the first time we've seen each other in a long time. We took a little break.
You say that, it's almost like every other episode you say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, although I can see now going forward, though, that won't be the case.
Yeah.
If you've looked at our schedule, we're a little... we're caught up, as they might say.
We'll be seeing a lot more of each other.
It's topical
in the
once
coming
again.
weeks.
Yeah.
Now our references make sense.
Yeah, when I reference what's going on in the news, I'm only 2 weeks behind.
Yeah.
The world is burning.
The year is 2020. We are in it.
That's true.
Finally. We're doing Murder with a Chance of Meatballs today.
The movie is called Murder by Death.
Murder with a Chance of Death. My bad.
Yeah.
It's a 1976 spoof of the Country House murder mystery movie/story style, spoofing on all of Agatha Christie and specifically spoofing on the characters of Charlie Chan, Nick and Nora Charles, Hercule Poirot, Sam Spade, and Miss Marple.
So is it spoofing on, those are real characters or those characters in the movie?
Correct. Those are all
that's okay.
Those are all the real names.
I
of
have
the
something for.
characters.
I wrote
Okay.
down because I didn't catch anybody's name
Yep.
during this, so I just wrote down. I named everybody. There's cultural appropriation and his son. Can you guess who that was?
Nope.
There's Mr. and Mrs. British, the Hungry Belgian, Noir Couple, and Jenna Marbles. Those are the 5 detectives in this movie.
So the names are just like slightly different. It's like Sam Diamond instead of Sam Spade. That's as far as they go. They're very simple, like translations.
That's a spoof.
You know what? It counts.
Case in point, textbook spoof.
So I first saw this movie like a year ago. I watched one of the movies that this is making fun of, the Thin Man series. I was watching the second one of those movies.
Thin Man 2.
Correct. That is the or actually I think the title is Another Thin Man.
Too Thin, Too Man.
Kiss
Ludacris
Thin,
was in that one.
Bang Man. And I watched this movie afterwards because on Amazon it just said like, you might also like this, and it's a big picture. The poster is to me is very famous because it's just a big picture of Peter Falk's face. Because even though he's not the main character in any capacity of this movie, he is far and away the star of the movie.
Is he
Noir detective.
Oh.
Columbo, as they might say.
I don't know if he was
Is he
the star.
cross-eyed?
No, I think he's a little bit, but I think he was playing that up a little.
I think Asian Face was kind of the star. He was in Asian. That's legitimate. Okay, let's not. We'll get into
wanna
it.
beat
But
around the
I don't
bush.
think that's crazy.
I
to
liked
say.
his character the most, even though it was like I felt bad liking it.
He. Well,
me,
we'll get to it. We'll
Yeah.
get to
That's
it.
the hardest part to watch this movie. Like,
Yeah.
so when I first watched this last year, I couldn't get past that.
Now I don't care
couldn't handle
who
it.
I piss off by saying this, but I'm gonna say I don't think he should have done that,
Yeah.
No,
and I don't think it ages well.
I
No.
think it was I think the joke is supposed to be with so it's Peter Sellers plays a Charlie Chan type character. I think the joke is supposed to be that Charlie Chan is like this Americanized view of Asian culture. Like I think that was I do think that's what they were trying to do.
I'm not familiar with this Charlie Chan.
I'm not
thing.
either.
So that if
Either.
it's something that like a white guy wrote, like
I believe
that
that's the
sort
case.
of oversimplifies, then I guess they're trying to make fun of it by just doing it even more.
Yeah, but that's which we've run into this before, where it's like Scary Movie did that, where it was like it seemed like they were trying to play off of it by just like doing a terrible thing even further.
They take the offensive thing they're making fun of and just make it more offensive.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we think it's offensive, so that's why it's okay. We're doing it to make fun of how offensive the original is.
Right. And
I'm not so sure.
no,
Yeah.
it kind of just seems offensive in the
No,
end.
it does. Now, his son
Yes.
didn't have an accent.
No.
That seemed like good for a movie of this age to do.
His son is
Like second generation adopted.
yeah,
His
yeah.
his
I
son's
think that's why
adopted
his
too
son's
was the other
adopted, I think
thing.
that's
Oh yeah. And that's the joke they keep making because the white actor is Chinese and his son is Japanese.
Yeah.
white actor.
Yep.
The white actor
I
is
know,
Chinese.
no, I know.
What's his name? It's not Peter Falk. The other
Peter
one.
Sellers.
Oh, the other Peter.
You know Peter Sellers.
Yeah, of course. We go way back. He came to my Christmas party.
Dr.
Yeah.
Strangelove?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew him when he was Mr. Strangelove.
That's his
Mr.
father.
Strangelove
That's
is
his
my father. Call me doctor.
They call me Doctor.
Of course, we both went to it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, anyways,
What I was-
yeah, it's the Asian. I've just to put a pin in it.
Asian face.
Doesn't age well.
No.
Shouldn't
No.
have done that.
Nope.
There's other examples. Mickey Rourke did it. That people do it all the time.
Mickey Rooney is your thing.
Same difference. Fucking what's her name?
Mickey Rourke and the wrestler, of course.
Emma
playing-
Stone is
Yes.
Hawaiian.
Yeah. Well, isn't
Scarlett
she Japanese
Johansson.
Hawaiian?
Scarlett Johansson is Japanese.
Yep.
The Rock plays
No, The Rock is
an
Samoan.
American.
And that's really where I draw the line.
Yeah.
I'm sick of my culture
How
being
dare
taken.
you come after America like
Yeah.
that?
He's from.
We should nuke you. No, he's from
God.
Florida.
Sorry. Please.
So this movie, to step back a second, this is a the country house idea of like some mysterious person has sent out a letter to all of these famous detectives inviting them for a weekend of mystery. And so the first thing that they're kind of parodying is that these detectives are all very narcissistic and they all think that they're the best, and the letter kind of plays into that, which is good. It's a nice little like trope of like, come to this weekend house so you can prove you're the best, all that kind of stuff. The reveal is that Truman Capote invites them all over to prove who is the best detective, who can solve a murder that is going to happen at his house. Truman Capote, so slight aside, was nominated for a Golden Globe for his performance in this film.
Oh, it was incredible.
He's really bad in this.
It was so good and natural.
At the time, they had a Best Breakthrough Performance. That's what they nominated. And because the Golden Globes are always, any celebrity in any movie gets nominated like that. And he's, of course, a very famous author. But that's the hook.
Oh, really? Name 5 of his books, Marty.
Okay. In Cold Blood.
Mm-hmm. In Cold Blood 2, even colder.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Lunch at Tiffany's.
Dinner at Tiffany's.
Oh, wow. You guys
Fair enough. You
crushed
are a real
that.
fan.
Good job. Well played.
Capote, of course, the biopic that he was in about himself. So that's the gist of this movie, is like all these detectives coming, and it's all these very famous characters. And the bits are like, yeah, they're doing like the Charlie Chan is basically just like the racist character, for lack of a better term. It's just playing off of like Asian stereotypes is the gag with his character. Peter Falk plays a sort of hard-boiled noir detective who's like constantly has to take a shit is like his big thing.
Yeah, I guess. Or I
And
thought
he's just like hard-nosed and
I thought sort of the joke too is that he's like dumber than
Yes.
his like secretary girlfriend or whatever. Yeah. And then the joke at the end is that he's gay.
no, but then the flip of that is that he isn't, though, because isn't the big reveal is that he was playing an actor, but then at the end he's like, I wasn't playing an actor, I was myself the whole time. That's the reveal at the ending scene when when they're all doing the driving.
Oh
away
yeah,
bits.
there's a reveal that he's gay, but then it's this is exhausting.
It's
Which we'll get to.
we'll
I'm going to
talk
say
about
third act problems.
we'll talk about it. And then you have the Nick and Nora Charles characters, which are like a couple where the whole thing is that the husband is
They
like
have an infinite playlist.
Oh, what a
husband
good year
is-
that movie came out in.
1971, actually. The husband is like constantly cheating on his wife, and the thing in the Thin Man series too is that the idea is that she's kind of constantly getting involved in the crime solving as well. He doesn't want her involved, but she's actually like really useful to him in solving the crimes. They kind of play off of that in this movie too.
Oh, this is Maggie Smith.
Correct, it was
Yeah.
Maggie Smith.
Well,
yes.
okay. Here's something
A lot of
I
big
wrote
names
down.
in this movie. A lot of
She's
big
got
names.
that character actor thing of. I mean, I think she's probably like I don't know, maybe in her like 30s or 40s, but she
Yeah.
looks like 60 already. It's
Yeah.
just that I feel like there's like certain character actors that they're just they just have always looked old, even from like
Distinguished?
a young age. Distinguished for sure. Like
Yeah.
there's like a certain.
It's like Harvey Keitel. If you see him in Taxi Driver, he just looks like he's like 85 already.
yeah, exactly,
He just
yeah.
looks leathery.
Yeah.
And then there's a Hercule Poirot character type where the bit is that he likes to eat chocolate and he's fancy.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, in the first like 5 minutes of the movie, we have a guy, a white guy playing an Asian.
It's basically
we have the blind butler who the joke is that he can't see anything.
That is, which, by the way, again, Alec Guinness is playing the fucking blind butler in this film.
And then we have a fat guy, and the joke is that
fat.
he's eating a lot.
And then Miss Marple comes in at the end with her nurse, where the flip is that everybody thinks the nurse is her, and then it's not actually. She's actually her nurse is the person she's taking care of in the movie, which was a nice little bit.
basically Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You got Augustus, the chocolate
Oh,
eater. You got
I want it
Charlie.
now, Daddy.
Yeah,
Who's Charlie?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Charlie, I'll get to last. I don't even remember any of the other characters. Who's Willy Wonka?
Mike
Capote.
TV.
Capote's Willy
Okay,
Wonka.
go out
Capote's
Willy Wonka down.
Yeah.
The butler is the Oompa Loompas, obviously.
Oh, and then the silent woman.
The silent woman's the other Oompa
yeah,
Loompas.
the two Oompa Loompas.
Sorry.
No musical numbers in this movie, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. I did like the blind butler stuff was like very tired, but the mute and deaf woman coming in to help the blind butler with
That
did
was a
enjoy-
little good
I
Three
enjoyed
Stooges
that.
kind of. Yeah.
Because that's like a nice thing, and it also again, it's like parodying the country house thing, where it's always the butler is always like very inept or they don't know anything, and so they just decided to go like even more extreme, where he's blind. He literally can't know anything.
Yeah, blind people can't know anything. So
I mean, man,
Yeah.
if you go
Cut
back
that
to
out,
Shakespeare
Marty.
times, comedy is just people misunderstanding each other.
If you go back
Yes.
to Shakespeare times, comedy is just one with a happy ending. It's just to play with a happy ending.
yeah, and a tragedy,
it.
well,
It's
the opposite holds
The opposite
true.
holds true. Welcome to AP English, the podcast.
So, the set is probably my favorite part of this movie.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the
Truman Capote's character is living the life.
That's
I
true.
say.
He also has a lot of secret compartments to hide behind so that he can look through various taxidermied
Oh
animals.
my god, so many.
It's just so many shots of that.
Yeah, it's like Scooby Doo did this bit
Yes.
already.
And it goes on. There's too much of that stuff. It's way too. It goes on too long. That joke is not. It's also just not funny.
Yeah, it's almost like this movie is just leading nowhere.
Yes.
Like the many compartments of his house, this movie is leading fucking nowhere.
So that's like a big chunk of this movie. I would say like 15 minutes of it is the fact that there's a reveal. Spoiler alert, everyone. There's a reveal that he has two identical sitting room areas, and there's some kind of elevator or electronic thing rotating them. And they do a gag where characters come back to a room and nobody's in there, but they were supposed to be in there. They leave, they re-enter, and then they're there suddenly. And the idea is that he's some electronics genius and is somehow rotating the rooms. I
This is all
hated this
verbatim
bit.
dialogue from the movie. This movie plays like an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they're like explaining the rules.
With
Every
that
time.
bit especially, and that's the part of the movie I remembered from the last time seeing it. I was just like, this is so. Why did they do this? It was not a good idea, and it's not executed well at all.
Yeah. The first act is all the different detectives arriving and their introductions.
Yep.
Love that. Love an ensemble cast. The second act is the dinner where he's explaining the rules and then them going from the dining room to the kitchen, back to the dining
Yes.
room in little groups, and then explaining the rules of the way his traps and the house work.
Yeah.
And then the third act, we can get to
We'll get
later,
to it.
but
No, we can get to it
Keep
now.
saying we're gonna get to it. Let's just get
vamping.
it over with. Let's tear this Band-Aid off.
all right, fair enough.
All right,
well, it's
talk
just
about
that
it.
you're this person. No, I'm not. I'm actually this person. Well, I could tell you, but it's just all. It just becomes me. There's so many different like twists that in the end, it's like, who fucking cares?
So the movie starts off after they reveal Truman Capote and he says you're going to solve a murder. They find the butler dead, and then the butler goes missing, and then they find Truman Capote dead, and then the movie is them trying to figure out what happened. Eventually, they all go to their rooms, and there's various like traps in their special rooms, all meant to like kill them, I guess. They come back, find
with different, one of them is like we put a poisonous spider in your bed, and then another one is
We put
like
a
a large thing will fall near
the
you.
walls
like
are
it seems
crushing
like
you.
it's like certain ones are like escapable, and other ones are
you're dead.
they weren't equal.
Yeah. Then they come and they find the butler that is alive, and they all accuse him, and they all reveal themselves to have lied about who they are as detectives in some way. I really like this bit, actually. I thought it was fun to do the unveiling of what these characters are. Like, I thought that was actually, like, very enjoyable. But I think, if I can guess, I'm the only one of the three of us who knew any of these characters going into this, I think.
Probably. I had no idea. What
Have you been listening to this whole conversation we've been having?
That's why I guessed that. You guys haven't seen Murder on the Orient Express, or what else would you have seen of this?
No, and I don't know who any of these actors are. Little film buff over there.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know Peter Sellers? No, I'm a Zoomer. I'm 21.
Dab. Whoa. Someone just coughed outside the room.
You edit this.
You can edit that out. You can
you're
do
right.
a little snipperino.
See, but I like.
Well, now you got to keep it in because we're talking about
Yeah, I know.
it.
Now we're addressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just in the process of podcasting. I actually have some tea with me today because I do have a sore throat, and I
Oh.
burnt the shit out of my mouth.
Yeah,
before the
Marty
podcast.
and
I hope
I
you
were
get better
talking about
before
some
next week.
logistical stuff, and while I was saying something to him, he took a sip of his. Wait, it's a coffee?
T.
Sip of his tea, and he did a legitimate spit take onto the
Yes.
floor.
Yes, I did. It's right. Yeah, Kelly, don't look down. Kelly's looking.
Ah.
Ugh.
So where were we? So there. Okay, there's
So-
the Truman Capote's character, not who he says he is. Every single detective, not who they say they are.
Yes.
And then they all have a different motive for killing.
Truman Capote.
Is
Truman
this like?
Capote-
Is it making fun of twist like endings?
Yes.
Is that the concept
Yeah.
here? I mean,
I
it's,
think so.
I get it, but it also is just like, okay, well now I'm just like have no reason to be invested in this.
Or
Like,
it
it's
breaks the
not.
reality of the movie so much that it's like you just can't care.
My
at the end.
disbelief was no longer
it was
suspended.
on the ground.
I would say like in murder mystery movies like this, that is like, and you guys have seen those kind of things, obviously, but like that's always how they end, right? It always ends with like, and the killer takes off his mask, and he was a different person, and you had a reason to kill him, and it's always like very contrived, and it's always like never set up, and it's always a big surprise. So this movie's playing off of that, which I liked up until Truman Capote reveals himself that he never died, and that they're all dumb, and he just like explicitly says all of your endings are always bad to all of your books and all that stuff.
It's
Got
more. Well, this movie's
really
just doing
frustrating.
more of let's do what we're making fun. Let's make fun of what we're making fun of by just doing it even worse.
Yeah. You're gonna hate my rating later.
11 out of 10 for both.
It's fine. The first act was fine. I liked when they were walking in the door. Let's go back to the first act. We'll
Okay.
get back. We'll get to the,
The
third
first
act
act
later.
was fun. I'd like truly. It's just a straight diagonal line downward of my enjoyment.
I was
of
like,
this
oh,
movie.
this is okay, and then it was just like, okay, no, it's not as good.
I would, for me, it was more of like, we're going up an incline. It's getting good and good and good.
This is how we should review. We shouldn't do out of 10. We should
for
describe
me-
a
Yeah,
graph.
give it the graphs. For me, it peaked when I found out I didn't have to pay for it because it was on archive.org.
Yes,
Nice.
I also watched.
So
it on
before you even
archive.org.
started,
Yeah.
at minute
And
negative
then
10.
immediately my enjoyment went down because archive.org has terrible video compression.
Oh,
Boy, I forgot that I sent that link to you guys. Also, I was like,
fine.
oh yeah, I did too.
That's great.
And it's like, oh, that's right. So I found it.
edit point here.
Edit point here. Make sure you leave this in because it's the good part.
Yeah.
Yes.
People do love us going through the logistics.
Of the podcast.
Well, this episode's brought to you by archive.org.
Yeah, our sponsor.
Do you need to find some stock audio of old Weather Channel news? Go to archive.org.
Yeah. Are you a film major? Are you in your third year? Do you have to put audio to a silent clip of a movie? Do you have to find a silent clip of a movie? Archive.org's got your back.
Yep. Been
Do you want
there.
to watch Night of the Living Dead?
Or the Great Train Robbery?
Or the Silly Train Robbery?
Oh, you watched that?
That train was so small.
Archive.org did not have that. by the
Normally
way.
trains are big.
YouTube had it,
YouTube
baby.
had it, yes.
All right. Let's rate the movie.
Hold on, let me.
All right.
Scott has more.
Scott has more thoughts.
Okay. There's a part where
I'm trying to be more positive in 2020, and this is really bringing me down, Scott.
Hold on, I'll jump in. I had one of my favorite lines in the movie was Peter Falk turns to his partner, his secretary at one point, and just says, "I told you, I don't like kissing you." Which I thought was really funny.
That was early. First act,
That was
gold.
really early on.
Oh, and then when she's giving him like the breakdown of like, oh, here's the profile of this guy whose house we're going to, and then it's this long, going into his whole history, and then he's
Yeah.
like, all right, sweetheart, how'd you find this out? And she's like, oh, I called and asked him.
Yeah. Love
There was
that.
a lot of.
And that's the first like
Again,
the
first
first
act.
30 minutes of this movie.
Them like
Yeah,
get
it
it.
was
You
really
get
funny.
you get the Yumi and everyone we know of like all the different characters before they meet up.
Yes. Yeah.
You get a bunch
That's kind of the
different
best part of
stories.
any ensemble cast.
It
is
is,
like
yeah.
learning. Yeah.
But
The little banters
I-
before they kind of get.
I also liked the statue falling and how everyone dealt with it differently.
yeah.
Like that was good. So yeah. Anyways,
I agree with that. There's another good.
2 out of
Falk
10
line.
as a spoof.
Yeah, like, wait. I said, Falk says to the Nick Charles character at one point, "You're smart and you smell good," as why he likes him, which I thought was, again, really funny. It's partially the delivery, which you can't replicate quite as well.
1 out of 10 as a spoof. 5 out of 10 as a movie. Go see Knives Out. It learned from all the mistakes this movie made.
Whoa. Knives Out was good, though.
Yeah, Knives Out was great. I liked it.
Oh, I gotta pull mine up now. Unless, Scott, you wanted to get to your thought.
Yeah, what's your...
You
Keep
interrupted
going.
to
Keep criticizing. Everyone's a fucking critic.
I'll just criticize this movie. Give it a 6 out of 10 as a movie. The ending was bad. The dialogue was good. But just bad pacing and a general story arc that led to nothing. There were some good jokes. I get and then as a spoof, also 6 out of 10. There weren't enough jokes, I would say. There's a lot of punching down. When it spoofs, it references how it's spoofing, not in a fun way. Like it breaks the fourth wall in like a, I don't know.
That's what I was saying with all the Capote stuff, where it just felt like, what is this all here for? Like, you're doing the spoof already. Like, why are you commenting on that also? It was.
Oh, my final note, Clue is better. If you want a movie that...
Are we going to watch Clue?
Yeah, Clue is
Hell
listed
yeah, I
for
can't wait to
next
watch
year,
Clue.
guys. I already have it scheduled.
Okay. Are we going to watch the Bash Brothers Experience? Because we should watch that when baseball starts.
Oh, is that the Will Ferrell baseball parody?
No, that'd be a good one, too. This is the Lonely Island one, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to save that conversation for next week.
All right. You better heal up before then.
We'll see how my mouth is feeling. As a parody, I'm going to say 7 out of 10 because I thought it actually mocks the genre. Did you say as a spoof? What do you rated it as?
Yeah, 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10 for both. Okay. It mocks the genre fairly accurately, not super in depth. It kind of only does like surface level jokes about each of these characters, which is usually fine for parody. So that's why it's like above 50%. It's fine. It's not the best parody, like Scott said. Clue does this better and much more fun and much sillier and just has like better performances, I think, too. That's like a big part of Clue that I think is like a really standout thing, that all the cast is really strong. And as a movie, 7 out of 10 because I love these kinds of movies and I'm a sucker for a good old murder mystery romp. And that's it. That's my thoughts.
Ready, break. Scott, do you have a song for us?
Kelly? Yes, I do.
Oh, boy.
Let's get right to it.
Let's jump in.
This song is from I'd Like to Take You Back to a Distant Time.
Am I in black and white?
No, you're in...
Technicolor?
You're in HD.
Ooh, 480p?
Around there.
480i?
Yes.
Ooh.
It's 2007. There Will Be Blood just came out.
Ooh, my son.
If you,
Marty, please, we're going to
if
get
you
copyright
are-
strike for that.
if you are to go on the internet, you might hear a little tune by the name of Chocolate Rain by a fellow named Tay Zonday.
Tay Zonday, we love you.
I want to compliment you, Scott. Quite on theme this week. Very on theme this week.
Fuck the theme.
They don't always have to have a theme.
I know.
And please don't criticize me. This is a song that it went bacterial? No, viral on the internet. It has 124 million views as of December 2019.
That's a lot.
So, Tay Zonday was a teaching assistant at the University of Minnesota, and he was performing at open mics and decided that to get a little press, get a little buzz going, he's gonna put some of his songs on YouTube. One of them is entitled Chocolate Rain, and well, it goes something like this.
In chocolate rain. The school books say it can't be here again. Chocolate rain. The prisons make you wonder where it went.
All right, so that was
rain.
Chocolate Rain. So as you could hear, it's a very repetitive song, I would say. That's
Wait.
one of the key features to it.
Oh, I guess it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's viral. I think I don't know. It's well, I'm assuming you guys have seen the video before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tay Zonday
Sorry,
is
I've
a
been
very,
so quiet. I've been moving away from the mic to breathe. Probably the best part of the video.
That is probably the funniest part. That's definitely one of the reasons they went for. And luckily, it happens in like minute or like second 20
Yeah.
of the video.
Is this him he goes back like this?
He goes
He
just moves like this.
He
I
moves
think.
his head. Well, he moves his head away from the mic to breathe. I can't put it any simpler
Yeah.
than
Which
that.
way though? Does he go up, down, right, left?
To the side.
to the side.
That could be right or left.
Why would he
still.
stand?
Well, he's facing the camera, and he goes camera left, so his right. The
Frame
viewer's left.
camera. Okay, I got you. Stage right, as they might say.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I
one of my
remember
notes
this
I wrote
song.
down, so it's a good thing I. Now I remember. So part of it too, I think, is that he's got like a nice baritone
Yeah.
voice,
It's
but he's a
a-
rather nerdy looking man.
This would not go viral today. This was
No.
definitely like
There's just some early internet.
from its time.
Keyboard
it was
cat
It wasn't
era.
even like that funny. It was just like you got to see it. It's so weird.
Isn't this weird?
Isn't this strange?
Old Spice based their entire marketing campaign partially on this video, which
Actually,
you know what?
Dr.
We'll get to.
Pepper.
We'll get to. That's yes.
Is Tay in an Old Spice commercial too?
No, but he was in a Doctor, and he
know
did
about
a
the
whole
cherry
separate
Dr. Pepper
song
one.
for a Dr. Pepper. Yeah,
Oh, I don't
basically
remember this.
the story arc. It's kind of like one of these music biopics.
Oh, I can't wait
Like
for
picture,
the Tay biopic.
Yeah, think of Bohemian
2021.
Rhapsody or the Elton John one. It's just this little dinky, rinky-dink video he put up on YouTube. Next thing you know, he's got major labels
He's
trying
shilling
to.
for Dr. Pepper.
Well, it's such a weird, like again, a weird time.
Well, that's one of the things he talked about was that there was no sort of like script for him to like capitalize on. But he did have the wherewithal to know, he has this little window where he can.
Right.
Who wouldn't?
People will recognize me for 2 more years. I have to do this now.
Yeah.
It's not like by siding with Dr. Pepper, you've sold out the integrity of Chocolate Rain.
yeah,
You fucking sell out.
The meaning is gone from the song now, Scott.
This was a counterculture staple, and now it means nothing.
Also, as I've gotten older, I have no problem with an artist making money doing advertising stuff. God
either.
bless you. Make some money off
Yeah.
your work. Like,
Matt
for
and
real.
Kim, they have just the instrumentals on a Buick commercial. Nobody knows it's them, and I
Yeah.
bet they make so much money off of it. And
There's
I
a
just
corporate
don't care.
sellouts.
Yeah, I've never been to a Matt and Kim show since, but only because I don't like the
Yeah.
new stuff.
There's a cover of Bjork in one of the, I forget which car company does it now, but they do like a cover of, what song is it? It's off Post. I can't remember.
I'm not a Bjork guy.
Yeah, I'm not a Bjorksman either.
It's the one that goes,
Oh, which way does she turn her head? from the
Yeah,
mic?
to breathe.
she goes left. Wait, hold on. Stage left.
So, David Lowe of The Sun characterized Zonde's voice as being gravelly as Rod Stewart, but alas, without the groove. Which I'm going to say, no. it's not gravelly. And I think it's got a decent amount. I think part of it, too, is that...
You know how I would react
He
to that?
reminds me of a lot of... who's the Never Gonna Give You Up guy?
Rick Roll.
Astley.
Rick
Rick
Astley.
Astley.
Rick Roll is his
Rick,
name.
parentheses, roll.
Hey, go to
Astley.
google.com and type in his name, Scott. Why don't you?
Rick, but his name's
Yeah.
Rick Roll.
This is a quick link to the new Star Wars trailer, right?
Yeah. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just
Yeah.
click it.
Oh, it'll be cool. It'll be real cool. Real cool.
All right,
Okay.
edit it in, Marty. I'll pretend to be mad.
Scott,
This is not what I expected.
Gotcha.
would you be upset if someone compared your voice to the likes of Rod Stewart, though? Even if it was like in a negative way, I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rod Stewart was like
He's
a-
very
He's
successful.
successful.
The singer of Copacabana.
Oh, this guy that everyone loves? Oh, thank you.
yeah,
Yes.
everyone universally loves Rod Stewart and never stops talking about him.
I went to the grocery store the other day, and the cashier, when I was checking out, said to me, "Hey, Marty." And first off, I said, "How do you know my name is Marty?" Second off, they said, "Why are you buying so many Rod Stewart CDs? I love Rod Stewart." And I said, "You guys had them available here at Pick and Save."
Thanks for listening. That was our cold open to our Rod Stewart podcast, Pod Stewart.
Pod Stewart.
Pod Stews America.
So I think Tay Zonde is like Rick Astley, where it's like a deep baritone voice coming out of a nerdy guy, and he sings it a little bit. The backing track and the structure of the song are both very repetitive, and he sings it
But he also is
robotically
playing the
as
piano.
well. And he does play the
playing
piano,
that riff,
which, like,
which is
honestly,
pretty
and
complicated.
it is pretty complicated. Well, musically, there's a lot of syncopation because if you count it like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the first 4 beats come on the 1 2 3 4, and then the second set of beats come on the and, so it's like da da da. Da, 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 da. That's kind of that is
I'm
like
learning
that's,
so
yeah.
much.
Well, it's not. I think there is actually some complexity to the song because also he's gone on record to say that the lyrics are about systemic racism, which if you look, it's actually a valid, critique of like the song actually is about. I think the main problem with the song, put a chorus in there, Tay.
It's too repetitive. It's too hard to listen to because it's just this, like you said, I was listening, I'm like, this is a good song. And then 10 seconds later, I was like, I hate this. I can't listen to it anymore.
I just realized why it wouldn't go viral today, and it's because he's moving away from the mic to breathe. Everyone loves those breathes.
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
They,
If he did it
want
like a
that
sound,
breathy.
if he did it like Billie Eilish, chocolate. Everybody in the world just turned this podcast off.
Or they turned it up
They turned it off.
I hope not. I don't.
30 minutes ago.
for that ASMR, quote unquote.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, it was parodied many times by various celebrities. And then, he got a commercial deal with Dr. Pepper. Major record labels were
Sub
reaching
Pop?
out.
Who was it? Sub Pop?
It
Sony?
was Sub
Universal?
Pop, Sony, Universal,
Matador.
Big, and
Apple?
Apple.
Columbia. Mm-hmm. Was the song like this? Dr. Pepper is really tasty. Dr.
No, we should-
Pepper.
Well, Marty, you know it is that. You're
It's,
just singing the song that he did.
I think it was called like a cherry chocolate rain, right? Or something like that.
That is it, yeah.
Nailed it.
Cherry chocolate rain. So what was it? Was like a commercial? I don't know the commercial at all. Actually, I do not know about this.
I remember this commercial. It was about systemic racism, and there wasn't a chorus.
Yeah.
There's a lot of syncopation.
So the song, it never did not chart on the Billboard Top 100.
what?
Wait, what?
What will we guess?
But
Oh, how many views it has?
I have a
Told us
little
at the
quiz.
beginning.
I have a little quiz to give you guys. So if you want to grab a buzzer, or maybe you can just say your name as the buzz.
I will say Kelly if it's me.
No.
no,
Raise my
we both
hand.
agree. No.
Okay, we have to do something that makes noise. It's a podcast.
Why? All right, I'll slap the mic.
I will say Marty if it's my turn to guess.
I'll just say Buzz.
Okay. Thank you, Buzz. So I'm gonna ask you I have three sets of lyrics.
Okay.
Now, you had a little bit of trouble with this format last time, so let me see if I can explain it clearly.
Yes, please do.
One's real.
For each question,
Two's
I'm
real.
going to name 3 lyrics from the song.
Okay.
2 of them are real.
Okay.
1 of them is fake.
And we're guessing
I made it up.
We're guessing the fake one.
And you're guessing the fake one.
Chocolate rain is going to be real.
All right, that's question 1 goes to Marty.
Wait, what? You said you had to guess the
I'm
fake
just kidding.
one.
I'm just kidding. So I'll do it in sort of the rhythm of the song. And so is it? So guess the fake lyric. Is it A, build a tent and say the world is dry? B, dirty secrets of economy? Or C, went to Costco, samples all were gone?
Marty, dirty secrets?
No, Marty. He didn't talk about Costco.
Why didn't you let me steal? That was my guess.
Oh, well, you still get the point.
I was waiting for Marty to fuck up.
And you did, and your strategy has paid off.
The Costco one just seems so obvious that I was like, well, that has to be in the song then.
Yeah, not. I'm not that smart.
Damn, I have to underthink my opponent. Okay.
All right, here's our second set. The bell curve blames the baby's DNA. Or B, makes a baby cry tears of defeat. Or C, cleans the sewers out beneath Mumbai.
Buzz.
Yeah.
B is the fake one.
Yeah. You could tell because I don't think I put enough syllables in.
Yeah, that's how I learned.
I could tell also.
All right, and the final one. More than marching, more than passing law. Flipping cars in France the other night. Or I move away from the mic to breathe in.
Buzz.
Wait, Marty.
No, sorry, Kelly Buzz buzzed in first.
C is the fake one.
Kelly, you're 3 for 3.
I crushed it.
I believe you crushed it the last time we did this too.
He's smarter.
You know what? I would never argue
Marty-
with that. I honestly would never argue with that.
I am in a band, so I know music
These are
pretty
music
good.
quizzes.
And all I do is do the beeps and boops on the computer.
The ones and zeros.
Marty,
Yeah, Scotty.
I have a question for you.
Oh,
See if you can answer it.
Maybe I
love-
can answer it if he can't.
Okay.
Do you have a novelty product for us?
I do.
Oh, good. I did not know the answer to that.
Our novelty product for this week, gentlemen, is Seinfeld Clue.
Oh, it's Seinfeld
Whoa.
Clue.
Seinfeld Clue.
I'm glad I didn't look at it.
It was Jerry with the puffy shirt in the soup restaurant.
Honestly, you just nailed it. So, Cluedo was originally published in England in 1949, a famous game where you attempt to solve a murder. Basically, it's a murder house type.
How is it spelled? Cluedo?
Correct, Kevin.
How do you know it's not Cluedo?
The original featured Mrs. Peacock, Mr. Green, Miss Scarlet, Mrs. White, Colonel Mustard, Professor Plum, all trying to solve the murder of Dr. Black, or Mr. Body in America, when it was eventually released as Clue. Many versions of the game have been released over the years, as well as a book series, which I've read many times, and a famous movie, which we will review on a future episode. There are many spin-off versions of this game, which has become much more prominent for board games to release various licensed titles, like a Game of Thrones, Monopoly, or that kind of thing. The first one of the Clue games I could find was a 1999 Alfred Hitchcock-themed Clue release. But this week, gentlemen, we're looking at Seinfeld Clue. So I'm going to open it up and we're going to look at some. We're not going to play a game because that would take way too long, but we'll look at the board and what they kind of did here. So Clue famously is inside a house, and there's various rooms, the billiards room and that kind of stuff.
Is this one inside New York?
For Seinfeld, it's kind of just
It's in his
vaguely...
apartment.
It's
I see just different squares separated by gray.
It's vaguely just a street, I think, is the idea. Or it's like a condo, place. We've got Peterman's office, George's office, the Chinese restaurant, soup kitchen. You get it. Various famous Seinfeld locations.
I get it. I don't know if Scott gets it.
I don't get it.
Well, Scott and Kelly both famously were guest and host on a famous Seinfeld podcast named The New York Four.
And I famously rarely watched the episode.
Scott never came prepared.
And it was perfect.
And honestly, it didn't matter. It was part of his charm. And you can play as various characters. You can play as the main four from Seinfeld, the New York Four, some call. Or you can play as, I believe, Peterman and Putty are the other cards. And then the tokens you can play with are things like...
I feel like it's Christmas Day and I'm Marty's uncle right now.
And you're watching him open up a gift that he likes.
Or he's telling me about it.
Oh.
And then he's going to tell me the whole plot
Okay.
to
So-
the ant bully or something.
Yeah.
So Jerry gets Fusilli Jerry, and then he goes into Peterman's office.
Cool, buddy.
And
Yeah.
murders someone.
Oh, wow.
Listen, I can leave it at that. But that is basically the gist of this week's novelty product, Seinfeld Clue.
Great. I never liked the spin-offs of Clue, Seinfeld, or not Seinfeld.
Clue, Seinfeld, or...
Clue, Monopoly, I don't know, all those ones. You know what I mean?
It's just there's certain ones where it's
Mariopoly.
yeah.
It's dumb.
Classic is the best for all of us.
Okay, it's Game of Thrones Risk.
me-
hell
yeah.
yeah.
That
Game of
makes
Thrones
sense.
It has to
Catan also
match, but you
looks
can't
cool.
just do anything with fucking anything.
Well,
Like
Game of
Mattel,
Thrones
fucking
Monopoly
Hasbro.
or Game of
They're the
Thrones Clue.
sellouts.
It just feels predatory because
Yes.
it's it's strictly for relatives or friends getting someone a gift and being like, oh, look, it's the thing you like, but mixed with something else that you might like. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Pickle Rick Monopoly.
Yeah, this is what our entire economy is based on.
by
Kelly.
the
It's
way, though,
fucking
we're doing-
awful.
that's the podcast. That
If
we're
people
doing
don't
also.
buy Pickle Rick Monopoly, we are going down as a
the
country.
U.S. dollar is worth 90 cents.
I
now.
would argue we barely spend any money watching the stuff that we watch for the podcast.
That's true.
The Weird Al app was the one app we spent more
definitely
than we
spent
should.
Buco Dolores.
We put money into the.
We got a
economy.
limo to go to that theater.
I got a Hummer limo for everybody.
Yeah,
I
for some
had
reason
to
we
take
thought
out
that
a
when
loan
we
to
got
pay
there,
for the
there'd be a
gas.
huge crowd waiting for us to go into the theater.
"That's supposed to
and
go
everybody would
Novelty Song."
simultaneously say, "Oh my God, it's the hosts of Spoof Scoofs and Novelty Songs."
At the time, we had put out 0 episodes.
Oh, yeah, it was before our time.
Yes, before our time, indeed.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Clue-themed Clue would be good.
Oh, man. Like with Colonel Mustard?
Based on the movie.
Or what about the cast of Clue? Like you have
Yeah.
to do it
Oh,
as
I'm not kidding. I think
Dude,
that would
Tim
actually be
Curry.
great.
Even better. Clueless Clue.
But
Boom.
again, that's actually not bad, though.
it was Cher with the car
Is Cher in Clueless?
The only
main
person I know
character's
that's
name
in.
is Cher.
Oh, okay. I was thinking Donald Faison.
Yeah, the second time he's come up on this podcast.
He's
When's the first time?
one of my favorites.
When I was talking about how the instructional video on personal accounting was more entertaining than American Carol. And Donald Faison was in the video. And he's
Anyways,
here's how to balance your checkbook. And I'm like, it's 2009.
Scrubs just ended like 2 years ago. How can you have sunk this low already?
Yeah. No, I'm saying it was good. He did a good job. He managed to make it pretty
You
entertaining.
did say it was better than American Carol, so that might mean it's really good.
Yeah, we were all in the high school computer lab chuckling.
I love JD and Turk. Yeah, I think the best one would be Wall Street Monopoly, based on the movie Wall Street.
See, again, they go together.
Yeah.
or based on
Or the Wolf of
real
Wall
life
Street.
Wall Street.
or that. Yeah, so that's it. That's the novelty product for this week, gentlemen. That's all I have to say about it.
That's great.
2008 financial crisis Monopoly.
I mean, if you want to play real Monopoly, that's what they did with our
Yeah,
economy.
the Big Short Monopoly.
Yeah. By the way, none of these are bad. We've all suggested better
Yeah.
versions of what other people have done.
Dick Cheney shot one of his cabinet members. Go to jail.
It was Dick Cheney with the quail gun.
Dick Cheney Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna move away from the mic.
And instead of the dog laughing, it's W.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's going to do it for us here on Spoofs, Goofs, and Novelty Songs.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
we really appreciate it.